Sunday. Oh my gosh. Do you love this voice? We're going to talk about what Joseph Pilates would do when he has a client with limitations or contraindications or injuries, aches and pains, especially because I get a lot of questions on um, like if you teach the order, I'm a classical teacher, how do you handle people who can't do X, Y, and Z? How would Joe handle that? So we're going to get into that in just a second. Um, First, I just want to say thank you so much for being here. I am clearly not in my studio. I'm in the OPC van. We're actually getting it ready for the tour. We leave in 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks for this tour. And our first stop is in Sedona. We're in Oklahoma City. I don't know all of the stops in a row, but there's Huntsville, Alabama, Atlanta, Georgia. We're doing Greensboro, North Carolina. We're doing Hershey, Pennsylvania, Portland, Maine, Boston, Cape Cod, Providence. We have Greenwich, Connecticut. We have Virginia Beach, Washington, D.C., Charleston, South Carolina, Miami, Tampa, Pensacola, New Orleans, Austin, Dallas, Lubbock, Phoenix. 22 cities. So I want you to go to opc.me/tour to check out the dates, check out the locations, tell your friends about it. I would love, love, love to see you. So because that's what the tours are for. The tours are actually so we can all hang out, connect, can nerd out about Pilates. I can answer your questions. We've got some great workshops for Pilates lovers of all levels. Okay, so what would Joseph Pilates do if there was some limitations with a client? How would he handle that? Um, First, I just want to say I am doing this chat myself, this live myself, so I might not be able to see your chats, but oh, I'm seeing them. We're good to go. Thank you, Brad. Brad is making sure I can see the chat. So woo, put your questions, put your comments below. I'm happy to answer them. So here's the thing that you need to know. So my teacher Jay Grimes studied with Joseph Pilates, obviously towards the end. Because Jay only passed away a few months ago. So, but he was very young, and Joe really would put you through some private sessions a few times, and then your job was to remember your session, your order. Okay. And yes, there was an order to the mat, and there's an order to the reformer, and then there was your exercises, the exercises that Joseph Pilates felt you needed to help with the imbalance and limitations you had. So, I think it's important to know that Joseph Pilates would look at your body moving, and then he would, based on that, give you your mat and reformer, and then exercises on the Wunda chair, on the Cadillac, um, on the all the spine corrector and the barrels, based on what you needed. So every single one of us, whether you're a teacher or not, should be looking at the work as a way to, Joseph Pilates' book, Return to Life. What do you need? Now, he didn't teach you every exercise in that order. Not in the beginning. You had to keep coming. So, for example, rowing, you didn't learn rowings for like a year. Just really didn't, especially the first two. Like those were a combination of so many exercises and a lot of limitations, a lot of contraindications. Can get better and open up more opportunities for exercises as you build your foundations, as you build your strength, stamina, connections, right? And so, what I'd like to say is like, when you're looking at your practice, when you're looking at a body who has limitations, focus on what they can do as opposed to what they can't do. Right? What is possible in that body? What does that body need? And then look at the exercises that way. If you have my flashcards, you can get them at onlinepilatesclasses.com. And by the way, this is time sensitive, but if you shop with us between November 27th and December 2nd, you can get those flashcards up to 30% off. So, okay, so that's a little plug for the Black Friday Cyber Monday sales. There's also a ton of other things that are on sale on the website. But if you look at the cards and you look at the exercises, they're not labeled as beginner, intermediate, advanced, but you can just see in the picture, like, whoa, that's crazy. You just put that back in the box. That's kind of how you would approach the practice. That's kind of how Joseph Pilates would approach it. What are the foundational moves? What do you need to know? What do you have to learn? What do you get better at? A lot of people discount rolling like a ball. They think it's too easy. If rolling like a ball is too easy for you, you're probably doing it wrong. Because rolling like a ball is a great way to stretch your back out. If you read the book, The Caged Lion, John Steele talks about how he had some back stuff, and Joseph Pilates made him do rolling like a ball. And he's like, it did not feel good. And I kept doing it, and then it felt better. I think we have to understand that yes, there are people who should not roll like a ball. We need to know who those people are. But also, if they can and it's just uncomfortable, then it's probably something we have to work on, right? There's a difference between pain and discomfort. There's a difference between um, something that can never be done because they have a fusion and something that can't be done yet because they don't have the connections. And so if you are a Pilates lover, knowing things about your body, about what is possible and never possible or not possible yet, and then also understanding that not everything's going to feel easy and it shouldn't, right? And then the teachers watching this, really understanding how all these exercises work together. And that takes a lot of time. That could take you years. I still am seeing how things connect to each other, right? Yesterday we were shooting for the accessories deck, which I'm so stoked about because it is absolutely going to be the deck that brings a lot of things together or makes a lot of exercises more possible. So if there's limitations or injuries, Joseph Place would for sure give these accessory exercises homework. The guillotine is not a prop, it is another piece of equipment, and it was actually like this door tool that he used to have. And for sure, it is what my body needed to find some connections that I'm struggling with in my mat. And I don't even have injuries or limitations, but I had an imbalance that's been affecting my practice. And so I used other exercises to teach what I needed. So how can you have some fun? Take yourself or a client who has a limitation and then first write down what is possible. Go through the order. What is possible? Okay, they have an ankle injury. Does that affect the 100? Probably not. Does it affect the roll up? Probably not. Does it affect single leg circles? Probably not. Does it affect going like a ball? Probably not. Does it affect, like, you kind of just go through the order and go, oh, shoulder bridge. It might. Thigh stretch. It might, right? Maybe stuff on the stomach does because of the way that we have to point the foot. Okay, so then we take those out and we focus on the exercises they can do. And by the way, Brad dropped in the flashcard waitlist for the accessories deck, opc.me/flashcard waitlist. You got to be on that to get the pre-sale price. That will happen probably around Q2. So what can they do? Just go through it. So you could take the cards, you could just remove all the exercises that they can't do. Then you can take a picture. Okay, here's what is possible for their body based on that limitation. Now I just have to see them move. And then as you see them move, you might go, oh, you know what? They really struggle with tall back exercises too. Okay, so what do they need that can strengthen their tall back, doesn't affect their ankle, right? So then you look at around the room and you start to look at like what is possible there. You'd be surprised. I had a sub for a friend, and I said, "Oh, is there anything I need to know about your client?" And she said, "Oh, she just has some imbalances like everybody does." And I was like, "Okay." And the client came in with one leg, quite the imbalance. And I was a brand new teacher. And on the I couldn't ask her what to do. I was subbing for her. So I just simply said, what is possible? And I went through the list. I went through the order. Can you do this? Can you do this? As I like on the fly, as we're doing it. And I revealed the imbalances that she does have. Yes, she doesn't have that leg, but also she's got a shortness in her hip because she doesn't have that leg to stand on. So, what exercises would help give space to that side? What would stretch that side? What would strengthen that side? What would strengthen that glute that doesn't have a lower leg attached to it? What would that be? And that is what Joseph Pilates is asking us to do. That's what he would do for his clients, and that's what we can do for ourselves, whether you're a teacher or not. What do you need? What feels good? What feels like a challenge? What feels impossible? If you're an OPC member, you actually can provide video of yourself doing an exercise and going, this feels really easy. I'm not sure I'm doing it right. Or I've got this issue. Yeah, should I be doing this exercise? We can actually tell you. We can look at your body and tell you, right? That's what we do for OPC members. That is important information because that is going to help you kind of understand your body more. And then from there, we can go, okay, here's the homework. So going back to the accessories, okay, you've got some ankle stuff and it's not a fusion. This is, you just rolled your ankle. So Should you do some towel exercises to strengthen your foot? What about, can you do the toe catcher right now? Or should we use a magic circle to strengthen your ankles? Like we can go through these different options to have homework to balance the imbalances and to actually remove possibly some limitations over time, right? We don't fix people as Pilates instructors. That's not something we can say we do, but we can absolutely balance imbalances. And that's what Joseph Pilates is asking us to do. That's what his work does. And the more we can actually nerd out about the work, the more that we can, instead of trying to create more new, different variations, the more we can like nerd out about it and understand it in our bodies. Holy freaking moly, is it it's life-changing. Literally this week, all I did was focus on the guillotine and some other little prop exercises to get myself comfortable to shoot the YouTube videos for the guillotine, to shoot the pictures for the guillotine for this deck. We also did towels and magic circle and light weights and the wall. Yes, there's some wall exercises in there and a bunch of other stuff, but like, oh, I spent the week, right? And what I can say is in focusing on just getting the exercises in my body, not trying to be perfect, but just trying to be in practice. My body really did return to life. It was quite amazing. The imbalance in my hip disappeared. So that's my challenge to you. Instead of focusing on what can't they do, focus on what they can do. And I know a lot of you watching this teach group classes, and that can be challenging because my goodness, how do you take a bunch of people with different limitations? One, you make sure they own them. They need to own their limitations. They need to understand what that means, and they need to have their own go-to exercise they replace ones they can't do yet with. So rather than breaking an exercise and down to the client, we need to build the clients up to an exercise. So you've got a client who's coming in, they can't do stomach massage for whatever reason, right? So you go, hey, whenever we do stomach massage, I want you going back to the footwork. That's going to build up your leg strength. It's going to build up your connection of your legs to your center. You're going to do that until we feel you can do stomach massage. And we will know that based on other exercises where you're seated, short box, rolling like a ball, things like that. So I want you to literally tell people these are your replacement exercises. So they get to stay moving, they get to build the stamina, and they get to build their foundations. And then it is okay to say, I know you love to come to classes. It would be great if in a few months we could do a private session so we could actually nerd out about what you can do, what's possible. Let's build you up. We have to start building people up to exercises. There's another thing that Joseph Pilates would do. He would not, I know that that sounds harsh and not accessible. It's not that he would go, "Oh, you just don't get to come," or you have to sit there and watch everyone move. No, you would keep moving. You would just do your exercises for your body. He would build you up. And it is okay for us to take years to build up to exercises. We have to normalize that for ourselves, for our clients, for people doing Pilates. We've got to normalize that some exercises are not for your body yet and that they will be. And sometimes I remove exercise from my practice because I'm like, ooh, after our tour, my hips are a little out of alignment. Certain extensions don't feel awesome. So I have to get my body back to being balanced and then I can add them back in. So that's what Joseph Pilates would do. That's what he taught my teacher Jay. That's what my teacher Jay taught me. That's what I teach people who do my mentorship with me. My mentorship for 2025 is completely sold out, but you can apply for 2026. But that's what he would do. That's what I like to focus on with our OPC teachers and for our members is like, if you can't do an exercise yet, what can you do? What can you do? What can you replace it with? And that really does actually help you build up your confidence in your body and what's possible. I hope this was helpful. Thank you for this amazing question. We got it from the comments of our videos. If you have questions, feel free to put them in a comment on any video. Don't have to find the right one. We'll figure it out. I mean, be specific if it's not that one, but like we can figure it out. We will do our best to continue doing our lives on our tour at the normal time. If it's at a different time, we will absolutely post that so you can join us. Um, just so grateful that you're a subscriber to this channel, that you will look at OPC, that you've looked at the flashcards, you'll look at the tour. Hope we get to meet you in person. It'd be so, so cool. So opc.me/tour to get your tickets. We actually have 3 cities sold out. 4 cities with 1 to 3 spots left, literally 1, 2, or 3 spots left. So please don't hesitate. We start in 2 weeks. We'd love to see you. Have an